This was coming from Isaac Chotner on Twitter. People who say they prefer college basketball to the pro game are like people who say Terminator is better than Terminator 2. You're never totally sure. What the fuck? Where did that go? Where the fuck did that go?
It's there, bro.
You want me to finish it?
Yeah, Isis, you finish it. This is like
you are never totally sure whether they are doing some elaborate performance art, singling some perceived virtue, or are actually serious.
But then this guy, he comes in with the hot take. He replies with bad take. The NBA is isolation with 4 guys standing around on offense. College ball involves ... movement.
So, Alan, you recently just started watching the college game, in the middle of March Madness.
Yep. So college basketball is something that I usually stay away from. Have you seen ... movement? Don't interrupt my question. Sorry, man. So yeah, not only do I feel gross just watching it for obvious reasons because it's the NCAA, but the one thing that I was missing, other than maybe Michigan, was ball movement. I mean, it was literally just a bunch of hockey passes, if that's what you consider ball movement. I mean, you see teams that can't get the ball past mid-court in the crucial situations because they can't fucking pass. And I get it, the players aren't that good. But the fact is, ball movement is something that's, it's a fundamental based thing. That's something that you could easily coach. If these players had systems around them that could allow them to strive, it shouldn't be a problem. But you don't see high-level passes other than just stupid hockey passes. And, when you watch the NBA, you might have a couple isolation-oriented teams, but then you'll watch teams like the Jazz that have a nice mixture of actual ball movement along with the isolation-heavy Donovan Mitchell. I don't know what he's talking about. He's just assuming that all of them are just Brooklyn Nets, who might actually have some pretty solid ball movement when James Harden's not looking to score. So I don't know what he's talking about. It looks like he's basing this on the early 2010s. He obviously has not watched the NBA since. I mean, the Spurs had it, the Golden State had it, even the Lakers have it. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. And college, the one thing that I was really pissed off about was that they weren't really playing real basketball to me. Well, with the NBA, they do. So I completely disagree with this guy's statement.
So I'm caught up on, am I supposed to think Terminator sucks and Terminator 2 is good?
Yeah.
I'm going to be real, though.
I've never watched those movies before.
I kind of so I've only seen Terminator 2 once. But I've seen Terminator 1 3 times, and I thought it's an okay movie.
Yeah.
I have no qualms about it, no problems with it.
It wasn't good enough to start this huge how many movies are there? Fucking 8 now?
Oh god, yeah. With not the reboot, but the more recent sequels, yeah, there's so many that we don't need.
The first one wasn't it was good. But the second one was much better. I think it's the one where the guy's chasing the car with the swords.
Okay, wait, was Terminator 2 then the one with or Terminator 3, the one with the woman Terminator?
Terminator. I can't remember.
There's a scene at the cemetery, Arnold Schwarzenegger pulls out a minigun. Was that Terminator 2 or Terminator 3?
I think that's 3.
Okay.
I like the new ones personally. I love those.
Are they actually any good?
Yeah, they're worth watching. I mean, unless you have a hard on for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because he's obviously not in it because he's old. He's too busy getting drop kicked by teenagers. Elias knows what I'm talking about. Honestly, what the fuck was that though?
He just kicked randomly in the back.
You know what we're talking about, Kunal?
So there's 2 instances that come to me when you say drop kick. and it's the one time in the lunchroom.
Oh, no, we're talking when Arnold Schwarzenegger was at his powerlifting meet, and he was like,
Yeah,
he's like talking to people, and this kid just runs up to him and
Goes
drop
mouse
kicks
kick
him.
Yup.
It- Arnold doesn't even move. He turns around. He's like, "What the fuck, bro?"
Yup. No, yeah, thank you for clarifying that. I remember that.
Oh man. But yeah, do you agree with this take, Elias?
Um,
Because you're a college basketball guy.
I mean, it's pretty easy. I mean, obviously, like the college game is not as polished as the NBA. I mean, it's professionals against amateur
Yeah.
athletes. But to say like there's movement, I would have to disagree. I think the college game is more dependent on isolation than the NBA is, just because you like when you look at like teams, they usually have one really good guy, and
And they take 25 shots.
yeah, so it's like you're gonna have isolation. I mean, depending on like the teams, like if you're looking at like Duke or like when Duke has good players or Kentucky when they have good players, everyone's gonna get theirs. But like if you're looking at like Syracuse, like their best player is gonna be an isolation player. Anyone like that, they're always gonna be in isolation. But not in the NBA where like almost every team has like 1 to 2 superstars that need to get open or need the defenses will be on them and you need to get them open somehow with movement. I don't see what this guy's talking about at all.
And if we're going to be honest about today's league, isolation players are becoming less and less popular.
Well, I mean, there's still like a certain brand of isolation players that
Yeah.
definitely do thrive in this league.
You got to
But,
be
like-
super efficient. I mean, there are a couple exceptions, but like back in the day, like, before the 2010s, early 2010s, everyone needed an ISO player. That was just the way the game was. Now you have to have guys that are fundamentally sound, that are selfless rather than selfish. And that's why we saw like Melo's, I mean, it might have been age too, but like his game really became less and less popular.
And then you have someone like LeBron who like grew up in that isolation and then now he can succeed because he's willing to give the ball up and make the smart play and get his teammates involved.
Yeah, the game is much more in tune with his game than it was before.
Yeah.
Because now, like, you see a good play towards the end of games, you consider it a good play. Back then, it's like, oh, why wasn't he the one taking the last shot?
Exactly. People were roasting him for like passing the ball up in like Miami or his early days in Cleveland. Now it's like, oh, he made the smart pass and he got the open teammate to hit the three. Just like
That's exactly it.
And then like people like you still got like those old people who would say like, oh, LeBron James wouldn't have had his championships if Ray Allen didn't hit this shot or if Kyrie didn't hit this shot. It's like, well, he made the smart play. He still won,
So all in all, I think this Chicago Litgate, I think this guy, I think he's either stupid, I think he doesn't know how to watch basketball, or I think he hasn't watched basketball in the last 10 years in either league. Is that a fair assessment, guys?
I would agree.
What about you, KK Slider?
That's consensus.
All right.